Hello.
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 Hi, I'm Brittany.
I'm Ashley.
And this is
Bell Talk.
Alright everyone, so today we're going to be starting with some of the basics of music. So, we're going to be referencing these first three boxes here. We have Arvana here. Anyways, so today we're going to be starting with staff and bars, clef signs, and time signature. Woohoo! Woo. Alright, so I want you to think back to a time where you've just been sitting in your pews and you look through your hymnal and you're like, oh, this stuff looks great. I have no idea what it is. It'll probably look like this. This is what the stuff in your hymnals is going to look like. Well, you're going to learn what some of that stuff is.
You gonna learn today, honey.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to learn about is our staff. So, the thing that you have to remember about this is your staff is going to be 5 lines and 4 spaces. Say that in your head. 5 times.
lines,
4 spaces. 5 lines, 4 spaces. 5 lines, 4 spaces. That's a tongue twister. Anyway,
tongue.
so if you look in, let's say you want to grab a hymnal and you want to check it out to see if, we're lying or anything. We're not. Right here, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. That is going to be called your staff. So remember that. 5 lines, 4 spaces, staff. That's going to be your staff, okay? Okay, so in that staff, you have this thing called a measure. So think about a sentence, right? How it begins and then it ends with punctuation. So you begin with the beginning of the sentence, right? Like the blah, 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 period, right? Well, a measure is pretty much a sentence.
It's like a comma.
Kind of like a comma. You keep going, except music is kind of like a run-on sentence. Anyways, so here is your beginning of the sentence, and then this line right here, that is your first measure. So that is kind of the ending of the first sentence. So a measure, if you look, is just the beginning and the ending of your first sentence. Remember that. Okay, now the next thing we're going to talk about is the double bar.
The period.
The period. The final period. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So if you look at this piece of music, you know how it starts here with our staff, right? We talked about that. The 5 lines, 4 spaces. And then you go right here. Remember, that's our first measure. That's the first period where we're going to stop. Well, not completely stop, but that's the end of the first sentence, right? And then we keep going. We keep reading our music. And right here, the double line right here, that is going to be the end of the song, or the end of all the measures. Oh, I moved the camera. The end of all the measures together. So remember, double lines without any dots or anything, that is going to be the ending of your music. All right, so that's the first box that we talked about. The second thing that we're going to talk about is treble clef and bass clef. So Ashley has a way to remember treble clef.
Think about you being on top of a cliff. It's really high up, right? It's really scary. So think high up. I'm in treble, high, treble. Treble clef is are the higher notes, sorry.
Yeah, so whenever you think of flutes or clarinets or
French horns.
Do y'all remember our little friend? We had a little friend, right? Her name was Isabella. You remember how her voice was like super, super, hi everyone, this is Isabella again, hi. Okay, that's enough, Isabella.
Oh, she needs to go to sleep. Here,
So,
go take her to sleep.
Ashley's gonna put her to sleep. Not like that. He's gonna make sure she gets some rest. Anyways, so whenever you hear Bella's voice, it's super, super loud and high pitched. So her voice would be in the treble clef. So remember, treble clef is for higher pitched things like flutes, trumpets, clarinets, everything that's really, really high. All right, and then bass clef, whenever you look at it, it looks like a sad face. Like a big old sad face. And whenever you're sad, you feel low. Yeah, just like that. So whenever you're feeling sad, you feel low. So those are gonna be your low notes.
Sorry, you hit my knee.
All right. Yes, your lower pitches. So whenever you see people playing a piano, right, you see them moving their fingers this way and this way. Usually, whenever they're moving this hand, that's going to be on the treble clef. And then this hand is going to be on the bass clef, because those are going to be the lower notes like we talked about. Awesome. So remember, treble equals high, bass equals low. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about in this video is your time signature. Ash is going to bring out the thing. Perfect. Music. Okay, so remember how we talked about our musical sentence, right? The measure. So it starts in the beginning, and then the line separates it. Where's the line? I can't see it. That line. Yes, that's the line. Ooh. So that is called the measure, right? Well, every measure can be different depending on the time signature. So if you see this thing that looks like a fraction, it says 4/4, right? Well, that means that there are 4 beats in this one measure. So if you look, that's a little bit harder to read. Look at this. If you look at this measure, see how there are 4 beats in there. I can't. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, so 4/4. All right, so we're gonna be, in our bell choir, we're gonna be using either 4/4, which is 4 beats in one measure, like we showed you, 3/4, which means that there are 3 beats in one measure, or 2/4, which means that there are 2 and in one measure. So we will go over what that means in rehearsal, but if you have any questions, go ahead and either talk to us, or you can always go back and look at the videos. That's all we have for right now. We will see you in our other videos. Bye.
Bye.